Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the GKL. This is their part number HSP50M. This is a tube of 50 metal hinge screws. These are a specialty type of screw. They're not your typical and common screw. These are obviously self-drilling. These feature a size 12 head flat undercut with a size 14 body, and where these are used is when you need to reattach something to some holes that are stripped out. So it's a repair type of screw. Self-drilling, self-tapping, number 14 screw. It's a number 14 screw with a number 12 size head, and it's undercut. As you can see here, it's undercut. Undercut is a term that's used when you need to attach a relatively large screw that will have a large flat head to a thin piece of material. If it wasn't undercut here, you would tighten the screw, but the flathead would not be completely flush in the countersink of the prepared material. Obviously common in architectural hardware, in commercial hardware work, like hinges and strike plates. You'll use the bigger diameter 14 body to repair screws for strikes or hinges, obviously. According to GKL, these are better quality than standard screws. They install very easily and quickly to save you huge amounts of time over drilling and tapping. A 12 head with a 14 body. Now the BO is black oxide. This is a black colored screw. The 50 is a tube of 50 is how many you're going to get when you buy one. Okay, that's how these are sold. This client also bought some nickel finish, so some black and some nickel, same screw. Let's switch to the screen view so we can take a look at the supporting documents to this item. Now here's the item that we're looking at, and what we have here is the product page. That will give you an overview of what these screws are. It's just really kind of a generic cut sheet. A better document we can find on the link to the manufacturer's page here, and that will allow us to get to the product catalog, and that will give you an overview of all things GKL related. It's more than just screws. GKL manufactures or provides a variety of different pieces of equipment really intended towards installers, integrators, locksmiths, people who are working in the field to contend with typical problems that come up in the field. So here we are in the commercial 12, 24 metal screws. If you've got 10 in the part number, it's obviously a 10 pack. 100, it's obviously a 100 pack, and you get the idea. Okay. An assortment of screws, those are nice. I have an assortment of these screws in my shop because a couple of times a year I know where I can get the perfect screw, and that's where I get it from. A VIX bit like this is interesting. I don't know anybody who uses these, but they are awfully nice when it comes, this mega screwdriver, when it comes to, I'm sorry, I said VIX bit. That's not what I'm thinking of in regards to this. I am thinking is the term Yankee screwdriver. Back when I originally got started in the hardware business, some old-timers would come in and they would certainly use Yankee screwdrivers. If you look up Yankee screwdriver, you'll see it is this mega screwdriver. Other tools and pieces and parts that you can review here, obviously hole fillers. Storefront door service parts. This door lifter, we sell those occasionally. I stock those. I also stock magnetic finger gloves, are very nice at times. I also stock the item that we saw in the beginning, and I've sold these to a variety of people. The hinge doctor. This aluminum sleeve slides over the barrel of your hinge, where you can basically effect a change to the swag of the hinge leaf. And I have sold I stock the HA14D kit, which will give you lots of options. It gives you all of the options, in fact, of the different hinge sizes that they can work with. Commercial butt hinges, obviously ball bearing. The 4A 3D you'll use if you've got a really huge, like a heavyweight 5-inch. This model here would be appropriate. Affect a change to the swag line. And what I mean by that is the following. You have a hinge. The typical hinge is going to kind of be bent like this. Okay? That's the swag line right there, the swag, where it's bent. A full surface hinge, for all intents purposes, will look like this, where there is no swag down here. But when you are taking a hinge and you want to affect a change to that swag line, you're going to take that hinge doctor and you're going to slip it over the barrel. And it's a big piece of aluminum. And you'll be able to put your wrench over the tool and you're going to bend the hinge barrel this way or this way to change the dimension of that bend. That would allow you to take a door that is in its frame and maybe push it this way a little bit or up this way a little bit. And that's what that tool is for. It's a very common need. Now, I don't recommend re-swagging your hinges from the perspective that if you were to break a weld, you've got a problem. And swagging a hinge that's 134 thousandths thick on spot welds, that's a risky endeavor. And I would very certainly not encourage you to consider it on any fire-rated doors at all. That's if you were to compromise the weld, you're destroying the fire rating and integrity of the opening completely. So anyway, that's the link to the manufacturer's catalog on their page, and then also on that page, the website, and then all of the GKL products that we sell. Here's that door lifter. Back when I was a young man, I would never consider using one of these, but the smart money is on the man who uses his brain, and using tools is an example of that. Let's finish up this video on camera. GKL is a very no-nonsense company. You send them a PO, they send the material out, they send you a tracking number. I stock their material. It's a hinge that you're going to come into requiring at some point sooner or later. You've got a stripped thread, whether it be a strike or a lock pocket, or it be a continuous hinge, obviously butt hinges as well. If you do any sort of service work, my opinion is you should have a small quantity of these on hand. Friday at 4 o'clock, the last thing you want to do is break a tap off in a hole when it's really not necessary, perhaps, to go to that extent. You might just need to fix it this way. Okay, so they're very worthwhile having around. Some people swear by self-drilling screws. Any questions on the GKL? This is their part number HSP50M BO for black oxide, or any other GKL HSP hinge screw, or any other GKL product. Please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.